and welcome to Planet Clipcam. So today the new DLC was released, the Vintage and World's Fair pack. So today we are going to review this pack. Now this pack I downloaded today and I have placed down all of the items in this park, as you can see. So we are going to start with the Vintage Park and start by going over the flowers and flower beds. So here, as you can see, one of the blueprints for the Vintage DLC, and I'm going to go through them now so you can see them. Now what I like about these blueprints, that they've used all the base game flowers and some of the new planters. And as I also pan across, you can see some of the fencing that you have as blueprints made up of the new fences in the game. So as I say, these fences, as you can see, they have been put together by Frontier into a blueprint so that you can place them quickly in your park for a quick fix in some area that is free of pieces in your park. So again, going across the planting, here lots of nice foliage, really utilising colours to really get some vibrance into the park. And also here we have some nice new light archways which have been added, and we're going to touch on those later, but here you are in front of you, you have some more planters, more rounded, more bowl-like planters, followed by a lamppost. Now this lamppost is quite nicely sized, however, like usual in Planco, sometimes they are a little big. Now we're going to go over piece by piece the Vintage pack and what comes in the Vintage pack. So we're going to head over to the back where we have all the Vintage pieces set out for us to go through. So we're going to start with roof pieces. So there's not many roof pieces in this DLC, however the roof pieces you get are absolutely fabulous. So these pieces are like tiles, almost like slate, and they come in pretty standard sizes, these do. They have recolorable properties, so you can really theme them up to your park and your genre of park. And moving on to some more grid building pieces, these would be really useful in a children's play park I aim to build, which is actually tough to build in Planet Coaster, and as you can see they're nicely recolorable. They'd be perfect for a park where you want really garish looks, really tacky, but you could also theme them up nicely for some nice rainbow colours. Moving on now then, we have the toppers for your buildings. Now these are very large. Now I always struggle to put large buildings in my park without making them look like they stand out too much. So as you can see, they're nicely themed. They seem to be made of metal. You can imagine how they'd sound if you tap them. And also in game, as you'll hear when you get the pack, they make a brilliant sound when you place them. That's a brilliant thing that Planet Coaster does. When you place it, it does sound like it would sound. And then here are the arches. So they have little like diamond lights on them. We've turned over to nighttime now, and we're going to have a look at them. Now obviously these are recolorable as well. As you can see here, we're changing them to red, and they almost look like love hearts now. So you can really create a really nice walkway for your guests, fit a path through, and that would look brilliant. Moving on to some more lighting then, we have these nice letter blocks. Now these, you can change the colour of the lighting in them and the surround of the letter. As you can see, changing the colour there. These will be really useful. Custom fonts which you can just use and place down. And moving on to some more here where you can see in the light this little planter is lit up. So we're going to move over to the planters and some other building pieces now. So this is a really nice little centerpiece, and it's joined next to it with this wood structure. Now this is just like the wood ruins we have in the game. but they've just added some detail and trim around them. So that's really nice addition to the game. Moving on, we have this rope fence. I haven't seen many rope fences in Planet Coaster, so it's a nice addition. And a little planter with bricks around it. This is one thing to update your park, make it really nice and real. Now, this is what I like. We have the bowls, which are recolorable. You can definitely use these for fountains, and I am definitely going to be creating a water fountain out of one of them. Moving on, these steel-like structures. Now, I think you could use these for a pier. Now, these are obviously recolorable and very ornate in nature. So as you see here, come in two sizes, these archways, and then we get onto these pieces. I could not believe how big these pieces were when I placed them down. Watching other review videos is nothing like placing them down yourself, and these look huge. I'm not sure what you'd use them for, but it'll be interesting to see what people do. Now this is a ride operating booth. As you'll see, this is recolorable. Now I like this because it's very generic. Oops, I deleted it. We're going to change the colour. It's very generic, so you can use it for many themes. This will just clip over the operating booth. And that looks really nice, just to hide the metallic nature of the booth. So now we are going to look at these tree covers. They're like surrounds for your trees. I'll try place one in here. Not very well, but there you go. You'll see how it could work. And they cover your trees. Certainly in Disneyland, I know they have those. Now here's a bandstand. This is really nice to keep your piece count down, especially with the Eugene counter. You really want to keep that piece count down. Fully recolorable as well. Now this is one thing I want to touch on quickly. I've reached out to Frontier recently, asked them about billboards. They said they don't support them in the game, which is disappointing because you could do your queue times and loads of things like that. But never mind, it's just great to have people and developers who reply quickly and get back to me and who are so transparent. They've just told me straight up that they are not supporting it. So moving on, we have some trim work. Now this is very ornate, and that can just go on the side of your buildings. Now 3 animals. This is very exciting because I am making currently, in another video you will see soon, an Adventure Africa kind of themed zoo. You'll see that video coming up soon on the channel, but I thought you could maybe theme these animals to the colours that they would actually be. Yes, the elephant is a bit small, but I guess you could use forced perspective to leave it out in the distance and try and make it look like it is lifelike. There's the penguin. Maybe you could put some yellow on it. I know penguins have a bit of yellow on them. And there's the horse. You can theme that to look like a horse too, so that's really good. Moving on to these shapes. Now these are brilliant addition to the base shapes that we have, which I make loads of custom characters out of. We also have these signs. These signs are obviously customizable with your text, and you can change the font and colour on those. Nice arrows there as you see, and we'll just take a quick pan over these basic shapes. These will really help you when creating custom characters. I've been making Minions, Smurfs, I've been making Wreck-It Ralph, Monsters Inc. characters recently. You might see them in a video coming up. Now quickly moving on to the trim, you can recolor these to just make the top of your buildings less 90 degree, less square, and really add some texture to the top, so the Planko look is not as regimented as usual. Now moving on, we have balcony pieces, just a sole one there, and the base fence pieces that I've been speaking about. Now I've recolored this clown face. It makes a really scary noise when you place it down, but that's really nice, all recolorable for an entrance. Then we have pieces for the gate, a nice animatronic gate as well for your 4-meter path, and we have some more moving pieces over here. So I think this could really fit in well with a queue line, this music machine, and it's nice because again, low piece count. More things like moving animatronics, sorry. I don't want to cut this video, I want to keep going. And we have a car here. It looks very good. My only bugbear with that is that the wheels don't come attached unless you're on your blueprint. And now this is a hot air balloon I definitely want to get in my adventure park. It looks good, but I wish there was ropes so it was tied down, because that would be much more realistic. Yes, I do like that piece. So these things are very exciting. These are the effects. We have golden drops, we have blossom and leaves, falling leaves. This will really add to your flower beds. And more effects here. We have like a Catherine wheel and like a shooter, a big burst into the sky firework. And we also have a sparkler. Now, as you can see here, very faintly, I wish they were a bit easier to see, but we do have bugs and butterflies all flying around. And also, if I go into the nighttime here, you can see these fireflies. These will look really good around trees to really interact with the guests and make it feel more immersive. I really think having overheads and things which they can walk through is really, really good for realism. So here we have a fortune teller. This is one of the path extras. And right next to it we have another parasol, which is new for the DLC. We're scrolling across the benches here. I do like these because they are very recognisable to certainly what I would sit on in a park in the UK. Now here we have a popcorn machine. This is obviously interactable with the guests, and some more bins. Now what I do like about these bins is that they have a bin bag in. I'm changing the colour here so you can see it more clearly. That is brilliant realism from Planet Coaster there. A great touch. Unlike all the other bins, we have bin bags in the bins. So here is a grabber machine. Now I do wish it wasn't as themed, because I like to theme them myself, and I do wish there was an option to change the plushies. And the gumball machine, again interactable with the guests. I really, really love this. I've been waiting and pestering the Frontier team on their forums, and I've been wanting that for a long time, so happy with that. So there you go, there are some more pieces to go through in the pack. Here we have some paintings. They are almost like billboards, and they could be used. You could maybe put them in a frame, make a frame for them. And here, this is one of my favourite pieces in the whole game. Recolorable Singers. This vintage quartet band can be recoloured, and they sing a very, very merry tune to complement the Planet Coaster music. They look very happy. The only thing I did wish that they had, especially in the blueprint, somewhere where they can go off backstage. And now, as you can see here, we have some Circus Performers. Now these trapeze artists, they do some very cool things. However, as mentioned in other videos, such as the Geekism channel, you should definitely check him out. I do wish, as he says, that they were sequenceable so you could choose what they did, because someone sat on a bar is not that exciting. Here we go into the rides now. Now this works on gravity. So this ride looks very, very good, and I think I would like to ride this one. It rises into the air and it's called Centrum 1. Now the stats, they're not amazing, but we have to remember it's a flat ride. And moving on, I like to call these capsules like eggs. They are called Round the World. And I do like this ride, however you would be spinning a lot. And here, this is a teeny ride, a loop-de-loop. The good thing about this one is that you can really put a theming and skin around this ride easily. It might fit on small spaces if you were building something such as a pier. This is Hurricane 2, and the best thing about this ride is that there are such close collisions as I'm trying to follow with the camera now, as you can see. Then this one, this looks like a family ride, this test flight, but it's actually not. You would be spinning around and around upside down. I don't think I'd like to go on this one because I am a bit of a wuss when it comes to ride. So then, the coaster for the vintage pack. We're going to go in some cinematic and point of view for this coaster. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to give you a view of the coaster train, and this is very classical wooden coaster train, much more classical than the other ones. I didn't really feel that we had that classical kind of train. So here we go down, drop, and it looks pretty smooth. I'm not sure how smooth it would be in real life, but yeah, this blueprint coaster is pretty nice. Nice little dip there. And yes, that is the wooden coaster, not too different from what we've seen. And now this is one I'm sure you will have seen and are looking forward to use if you are considering getting it. This is like a bobsled. This goes through a half pipe, but the only problem is that it is themed on the front. It is themed to a plane. I wish it was much more generic, so you could use it for much more themes. So you can see it just rolls around, and also, as the channel Geekism said on his review of PC many years ago, he thinks that this runs on a track kind of system under the wooden slats. And yes, I would agree with that. It does look like it's not based on physics. But yes, that ride looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to make my own custom coasters. The only problem is that you can't theme it as well as other rides because you can't see. So this one, we're going to get them moving. These are the singers, themed a bit more with some backdrops. As you can see, this is how they come as the base game, as the colours. And we're just going to skim through the blueprints because I really want to show you the blueprints. We're not going to spend too much time on them. We're going to get through them quickly, just have a little look. They've used a horse piece up there, which is really nice. Now, a big thing with this pack is that all the things are huge. I am not very good at building sight lines in the air. I am much better at building low on the ground, one floor, really detailed. So this is something to take inspiration from, and maybe I might find myself using one of these, even though I don't like using blueprints, because I want everything to be my work in my parks. So here is a hot air balloon, and this one I think is stationary, but as you can see, the Planko words for hot air balloon, obviously, Hasai Baloo. Very funny words, and it looks like it's sponsored by Looney Balloons, but this does look very good, and it's just showing you these blueprints, what you can do. So a lovely plaza centerpiece here using the toppers, and behind it I like the use of the letters, the lit up letters. Scrolling across there in the nice archway, and we're going to check what we've missed. I don't want to miss anything out really. Here are some shop blueprints. These look very good. Now these are really nice and colourful. They really entice you into the shops. And this is just a memento one. I want to comment that I really think that they've coloured this to look like a marshmallow almost. And then also you have the shops. And they just look brilliant. We can do so much even with those base small shapes. And now we are going to move over to the World's Fair part of the DLC. Now this is the other half of the DLC, and before we go through all the blueprints, we're going to go again piece by piece to show you what comes in this pack, because for me it's all about using pieces, flipping them upside down and custom making smaller objects. So we're going through the shops. This is a main part of the DLC. They have loads of theme shops to different countries. So you've just seen the French one, and this is the American one. A comment that I must make is that these have really nice signs, however they can be a bit big. So as I say, this is the American one, and you can see to the left of the little till counter thing there, you have what the guests will carry away from the shop. They are very nice. There is the Sushi one, and obviously you've got the neon sign and lit versions of the signs I've placed out. Here's the gelato, it's very nice with the ice cream and the cups just there. There's no vendors in these because I haven't had time. I wanted to get this video out. Now I think you pronounce this June's Delight. This is a kebab shop and I love the theming behind the counter. It makes you not have to theme your shops as much as I do, which makes it just so much easier for part count. You don't want to be getting up to that 100% limit. And there's a churro stand. Another thing to say is that all of these shops, when you place them down, they have their own theme tune, little sing-along thing, and that is just amazing by Planet Coaster because their theme tracks are so good. There's a noodles one, and we have a Mexican one, burrito. So in the back, all your toppings there, I just love the detail. Even things that you can't see from path level, they are added in. A German one now. We have bratwursts. Now, a funny thing that was pointed out on Channel 5 Gaming's YouTube channel is that they've left in the textures on the sausages for the buns, which is quite funny and something to notice. But yeah, I do like them. Look good hot dogs. And you can see a little teaser of the coaster in the background as we move on. Now this is the last shop. This is the Sugary Emporium. Now I definitely use this in a British setting, and this has brilliant jars at the back, and I guess they walk away with these sweet little packets. So they look really good, and you wouldn't have shops without vending machines. So I am a bit disappointed with these vending machines, as some of them are a bit plain. They've just added the logo. However, there are some vending machines that are the best vending machines in the game, such as this ice cream vending machine. You can see the interiors there. And the sushi one. I'm not sure what's in there. I'm not a big fan of sushi myself. And then just ribbing. They almost look like steak pieces in there. And I think this is the French one. It is. These are baguettes. Must have some kind of fridge conditions in there. And the final one. This is the best vending machine. The Sugary. And yeah, amazing chocolate bars. The only problem, I wish they put these in the game. These little chocolate bars. Because they've made them. So I would love them as a piece. But never mind. They're in the vending machine. So, to go with our shops, we have themed items from helmets, to sushi, to boats, to baguettes, to crowns. As you can see on the video here, we have all of these things which you can add to the top of your shops. Now, I would suggest putting these in higher budget parks, unless you are saying that they are made out of cheaper materials. Now this dragon is brilliant because it will really decrease your part count. I haven't attempted to make one yet, and I'm glad I haven't, because they have added this dragon and the smaller dragon too. The Chinese-Japanese theme seems to have brilliant pieces, just like these pieces here. These can be recoloured, and I'm not sure you can make them realistic in real life like they were some kind of animal, but there you go. Now this car, another annoyance, I hate that the wheel is off. I accidentally deleted it there. But yeah, you can put the convertible top on, and that looks very good. So here's the blueprints, and now we are going to go into the pieces that make those blueprints. So these Chinese/Japanese, I'm not going to try and decide which is which. They are very ornate because they have this nice stone to kind of stucco to wood, all textured into it. And also in this theme, we have these roofs, and I love how the tiles give it more depth. And inside, you will see that inside your buildings now, you can have a bit more pattern, so you don't have to do custom interiors of roofs. Moving on, with very different things here. I can't go through them all. I do like this piece though, along with the smaller one. If used with a bigger beam, you can just make it look more realistic for all of your beams into the floor. We have a variation of roof pieces in this pack, along with these dragons. Now, as I touch on the roofs, I do like that they're much smaller, so we can get a much more variety much more varied selection of roofs. Now these pieces, if you haven't watched Wix on YouTube, he has a series called Dania where he creates one of the biggest parks I've ever seen. He has a Viking area in that park and he uses these on top of his Viking buildings. I need to use these in my Viking park. Check that out on my video if you haven't already. So now other pieces, these are colorable and they have lovely emblems of the Planet Coaster logo on the edge. As you can see here, the circles there. I must use those in my Viking park. Stay tuned for more episodes of that. And up next we have just some random pieces. We have window toppers and extensions to walls so you can have overhangs, some arches and add-ons to the top. Now as you can see, this red window here, this is fully recolorable and I love this because it has a hole in the window. Now this is unlike other windows in the game because it has a hole in it. So due to this, I think that you can really bridge the gap between interiors, custom and the exteriors. So we can really delve into the interiors now. So this one is called the Taisho Roman wall. Now I wouldn't suspect that to start with, and I could have built this custom with the poles. However, I do like that it is so ornate and it's got some depth to it. One thing I do recommend is taking a look at the back of your pieces. You have double the amount of pieces due to flipping them around. They are plain on the other side with different styles. Now this one is very ornate, it's very pretty, it's got lots and lots of design features to it. Now as you can see, these trim, I did make these in my Adventure Zoo series and I will show you them, and that is a lot of pieces, so I'd be definitely swapping those out. Again, more archways, so beautiful. Now these blocks are something I want to touch on. They are brilliant for your pillars. However, I wish they had the design all the way around. I guess I could just spin them round, but that is a bit of a shame. Some more pillars, nothing too different from what we've already got in the game. And this overhang, which is brilliant. Now you can see a bit of a weird outline of the tassels on the bottom. But yes, again, fully recolorable, it's a good piece to have. This metal Planet Coaster sign, I'm not a fan of using Planet Coaster logo because I like to make it myself. We've got signs and new foliage, new planters. You can maybe sink them into the ground to make them look new foliage. Now this piece, this is like what I certainly have found at Disneyland, and you have the tree sunk into the support. You could definitely use this in a shop to display the likes of swords or candy canes. This one is definitely going to be my most used building type. This one is called Adobe Wall. Now this has got really abstract windows where it's got in random places to make it just less general. It's got little gutters and poles in it. It will definitely reduce my piece count because I've definitely got loads of poles in my walls. This one could be used as German or Old Age England. Again, nice with extensions and flip it around. Take a look. You have got another building set. How brilliant is that? You have double the amount of pieces that you thought you had. Moving on then, this is a very ornate one again. Very beautiful wall pieces in this pack. I like how they have the 3D nature welcoming you in. Through the door, you could put a path through there. That is a nice one. Certainly some kind of French or ornate British park. Now these are some pieces that I love. I do love these diner pieces for the American pack and restaurant type. So I definitely want to create a video where I go and create a tutorial how to make a gas station, a petrol station and a diner attached to it, so you can place it outside your park so you get some more realism that your park is connected to the outside world. Now the reason I zoom into these windows, I do like how we've got curved glass windows because I do get annoyed with the glass at the moment in the base game because you cannot see it very well. It's very difficult to spot. Again, some more glass windows. This one is very beautiful, obviously recolorable as they all are. This is a Victorian wall. So lots of curves. You can't curve the glass currently unless you use the sci-fi. You have a shelter which can be curved glass. But yes, these look very good. You could use these as shop fronts, place a mannequin, a staff member in them, make them stand still. I will definitely create a tutorial of how to do that in Planet Coaster console. So we are now going to take a quick overview of the blueprints. So the blueprints in this game, they are very well done by Frontier. I'm so happy that they add them. They just add this inspiration, and I have very rarely placed a blueprint, but I do like to have a look and see what the pieces can be used for. We've got some nice Chinese, Japanese ones, and this is a nice plaza. You could see guests running around here, maybe a haunted house or something. The cars, I do wish the cars were a bit more modern. Bit of a shame, because I want to fill out my car park, and currently I can't with those kind of cars, I don't think. So just showing all the fences, and I do like these fences, how they filled them out with different pieces. It just makes it less transparent, so you can't see through them, just a bit more substantial as the fences go. So some more kind of pagodas as we zoom out here. And as you can see, we move on to all of the pagodas and all of the tall buildings. They really stand out to me. There's so many that you can have a look at yourself. And here is the motel. We're going to look at this at night. It's really nicely lit up. I like that lighting on the side of the building. I definitely want to make an adaptation of this. I'm a bit confused why this piece is here. I think it was in the blueprint. I don't think I made a mistake. But yeah, that's a bit odd by Frontier. And now this ride. This is a ride that comes with the World's Fair pack. Now these are two separate bikes. Now we're going to have a look at this ride. They're booster bikes. My local park, Flamingo Land, has booster bikes called Velocity, one booster bike, and I do enjoy that. It's got this great restraint system. It is a bit uncomfortable, but I do like it. It feels like you're on a motorbike. This is quite a slow blueprint, I'd say. But yeah, it's very nice by Frontier. I'm so happy with the job that they've done. I've been pestering for ages for them to release this out on the forums, but it is finally here. We're going to have a look at the bikes here. You've got more of a police kind of bike here, and the other one is like a speed bike, and you can see that restraint system. It would be really interesting to see them interacting with the guests, that restraint system, seeing them lean forward. That is a really cool feature. And then here we go, the last ride. This is like a people mover. You may have seen them over your head as you were in theme parks. This is called a light rail polarity, and you can go up and down with it. It's got these weird systems where you can have triangle kind of pieces, all separate pieces, and I really have not mastered this yet. So I really might consider creating a tutorial of how to use them and get the best out of them in Planet Coaster console. I know that sometimes PC videos can be sometimes a bit hard to understand, and as you can see, I'm really struggling to even get latched onto one of these ends. And there we go. You can see you've got all these pieces on the right. I'm just placing random ones. We'll have to see what they all do. A really nice people mover for your park. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. This is all of it for the DLCs. If you have enjoyed it, please press the like button. It would be really encouraging. And if you don't want to miss out on more videos like this, my series coming up showcasing my parks, please press subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Thank you and goodbye.